Hi, IASvideos.com is presenting you simplified daily current affairs analysis. Cars and coal helped drive strong CO2 rise in 2018. So, what's caused the rise in CO2 level this year? Who are the biggest emitters of CO2 in 2018? What does this year's rise in CO2 mean? Is anything being done to limit emissions from cars and trucks? GS Paper 3, Environmental Impact Assessment. In this video, you can find detailed answers for all the above questions. The above article has been retrieved from bbc.com, dated December 7, 2018. What we are providing here is just a 10% sample out of the full-length video. Visit our website iasvideos.com to join the course and to unlock all videos. We offer this pen drive course cash on delivery on Amazon.in too. Amazon will deliver our course to your doorstep. Is the context about? A booming global market for cars has helped drive CO2 emissions to an all-time high in 2018, says researchers. The main factor in the near 3% rise has been coal use in China, driven by government efforts to boost a flagging economy. But emissions from cars, trucks and planes using fossil fuels continue to rise in all parts of the world. Renewables have also grown this year, but are not keeping pace with the CO2 rise. So what's caused the rise in CO2 level this year? While coal use remains below the historically high level of 2013, it has grown again this year. China, the world's largest emitter, saw emissions rise an estimated 4.7%. The rise in China was down to government activity. For the past 2 years, the Chinese government has boosted the economy, and the economy is based on construction and heavy industry, coal and steel. When you boost the economy, you actually see a rise in emissions. Other factors include a rise in the US after several years of decline, which the researchers say is due to a very cold winter and a hot summer, driving up demand for energy. Who are the biggest emitters of CO2 in 2018? 2018's top 10 has China on the top, followed by the US and the EU as a whole region. After these three comes India, Russia, Japan, Germany, Iran, Saudi Arabia, South Korea and Canada. A booming economy has seen India's emission grow by 6.3%. Renewables are growing fast but from a low base. The 5 countries contributing most to growth in global emissions outside of China, the US, the EU and India over the last decade are Saudi Arabia, Iran, Turkey, Iraq and South Korea. What does this year's rise in CO2 mean? It's not good news, says the scientist, who argue that global emissions have to start to fall by 2020 if the world is to meet the temperature goals of the Paris Agreement. People are simply not keeping the promises they made 3 years ago when Paris Climate Agreement was signed. Is anything being done to limit emissions from cars and trucks? Despite the gloomy picture on cars in 2018, the future is not so solid for the internal combustion engine. While they were rare 10 years ago, there are now 3 million plug-in cars in use globally. Norway will stop selling cars that are not electric in 2025. The UK, France and the Netherlands and India say they will stop before 2040. Car manufacturers are responding to the fork in the road. Volkswagen says it will launch its last generation of petrol and diesel cars by 2026. The move has been welcomed, but many think it is not fast enough.